Students, in impure rolling, as we already have learned, translational velocity magnitude is not equal to rotational velocity magnitude. Translational velocity magnitude is equal to velocity of center of mass. Rotational velocity magnitude is equal to r omega. So Vr can be written as r omega, where r is radius of curvature of the particle and omega is angular velocity of rotating object. Now, impure rolling can be in two different ways, where translational velocity magnitude is greater than rotational velocity magnitude. That is in the case 1. Vc is greater than Vr, and the second case is Vc less than Vr. Translational velocity magnitude can be greater than velocity of rotation, whereas it can be less than that of translational. Now, as we have a rolling body here, this is rolling object. As we know that whenever a body is in rolling motion, it will have both translational velocity and as well as rotational velocity. And translational velocity magnitude is Vc, and its value is remained same for all the particles. It is Vc. But coming to rotational velocity, the magnitude of velocity of rotation for different particles will be different. At the highest position, rotational velocity is in this direction, and at this position, rotational velocity is this side, and at this position, rotational velocity is this side, and at this position, rotational velocity is upward. And this is Vr, this is Vr, this is Vr, and this is Vr. Now, for any given particle, we have two types of velocities. One is rotational and translational. Now, coming to this particle, which is at the bottom. Let me take this particle which is in contact with the ground. I am naming it as A. So, let A is the position in contact with ground. As we know, Vr and Vc both are not same. In this case, what would happen? Vc magnitude is greater than Vr. If Vc magnitude is greater than Vr, then in such cases you can write Vc minus Vr is not equal to 0. It means Vcr not equal to 0. Velocity of translational velocity magnitude is greater than that of rotational velocity. So there is some relative velocity for the particle which is at position A, because at this point A, which is in contact with the ground, for that particle rotational velocity magnitude is less. Therefore, overall here there will be Vcr which is not equal to 0. Body is having some relative motion for a particle which is in contact with position A. So as there is relative motion of rolling body with respect to ground, as there is a relative motion between rolling body with respect to ground, there acts frictional force on rolling body. There acts frictional force on the rolling body. So there will be a frictional force which acts upon this rolling body at a point of contact A. In case of pure rolling, there is no frictional force. But in case of impure rolling, frictional force acts upon the body and as there is frictional force, that frictional force will decrease the magnitude of velocity which is greater. So in this case, what would happen, as VC magnitude is greater than VR magnitude, frictional force oppose VC, hence its magnitude decreases. Its magnitude decreases. So at one point or the other point, VC magnitude slowly goes on decreases. As VC magnitude slowly goes on decreases, what would happen? It is that at one point or the other point, VC magnitude and VR magnitude will become equal. VC and VR magnitude both will become equal. As a result of that, the body tends to become again pure rolling. That is in case of VC greater than VR. Now let us discuss the second case. In the second case, what happens we shall see. Here VC is less than VR. That means translational velocity magnitude is less than that of rotational velocity magnitude. As a result, the point which is in contact with the ground at this position, there will be VR in this direction. And let me name this position as A. Right? So the point in contact with the ground experience friction which opposes rotational velocity. So which opposes rotational velocity. What is happening in this case? As we know, VC is less than VR. Therefore, VR magnitude minus VC is equal to is not equal to 0. As VR magnitude is greater than VC, friction opposes rotational velocity. Therefore, magnitude of VR decreases with time. Decreases with time, and at some point VR becomes equal to VC, then the body tends to be in pure rolling. So in both the impure rolling motions, whether it can be VC greater than VR or VR greater than VC, in both the cases, initially the bodies may be in impure rolling. But after some instant of time, what happens is, as the frictional force opposes relative motion, which is in in contact with the ground, the magnitude of greater velocity will be decreased because of friction acting over them. If VC magnitude is greater, friction decreases, frictional force will oppose VC, and as a result VC magnitude slowly decreases and it become equal to VR. Suppose if VR magnitude is greater than that of VC, in such case there comes a friction, frictional force opposes VR magnitude. As a result, velocity of rotational velocity goes on decreases. Finally, VR and VC magnitudes both become equal. When both become equal, obviously it tends to become pure rolling. So impure rolling, even though there are two possible cases, at one time or other time, those bodies tend to become pure rolling. Right. So as we already have discussed, in impure rolling, frictional force act on rolling object. Therefore, Fr will be equal to mu r into normal reaction. Now, because there is rolling friction acting on the object, due to this rolling friction, torque is experienced by rolling body due to opposing rolling friction. And that torque is equal to R perpendicular cross rolling friction Fr, right? This can be written as torque tau is equal to R perpendicular cross mu into normal reaction N, and this is torque acting on body which is in rolling motion. So finally, at one point or the other point, like as torque acts upon the object, torque tau can be written as I alpha, which is equal to R mu into N. Therefore, body tend to rotate due to torque on the object, right? And the last point is that after some instant of time, impure rolling become pure rolling. Impure rolling become pure rolling. Now, any rolling body, if you are considering this as rolling body, at this point of contact, there will be one force which is acting, there will be one velocity which is acting right side, and there will be one velocity which is acting left side. This is VR and this is VC. And obviously, if VC is greater than VR, then in such cases, there will be a frictional force acting in this direction. Frictional force comes in this direction, that is FR oppose VC. Likewise, if you have a rolling body, like let me take, this is another rolling body where this is point of contact and there is one force acting, there is one velocity acting right side, there is another velocity acting left side. If suppose VR is greater, then in such cases, frictional force will be acting in the right side. This will be FR and this is VR and it is VC. So the magnitude and the direction of frictional force acting on the rolling body depends upon the magnitude of velocity of the rolling body. So frictional force can be either in the direction of translational velocity or in the direction of rotational velocity. That depends upon magnitude of translational and as well as rotational velocity. Now, because there is a frictional force acting here, this becomes R perpendicular. This is radius of rolling body. It is R and both are perpendicular here. Theta is equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, torque acting will be equal to radius R cross frictional force Fr. This is torque acting on the object. Because of this torque, the body would undergo rotation or rolling. It is equal to I alpha. The torque magnitude can be calculated as I alpha. This is the way in case of impure rolling, frictional force act, and that kind of friction is called rolling friction. In pure rolling, there is no rolling friction. In impure rolling, there will be rolling friction. Rolling friction magnitude will be opposite to that of greater magnitude velocity. And after some instant of time, impure rolling tends to become pure rolling. Let us discuss what is the magnitude of kinetic energy of a rolling body. As we know, rolling body possesses both translational velocity and as well as rotational velocity. Therefore, here kinetic energy of rolling body is equal to translational kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. Because kinetic energy is produced due to both translational motion and as well as rotational motion. In this case, you can write kinetic energy of the rolling body is equal to translational kinetic energy is half m v square plus rotational kinetic energy of the rotating body is half I omega square, right? We can write v is equal to r omega, or you can write omega is equal to v divided by r. Omega is equal to v divided by r. I'll use these equations. I'll use this equation v is equal to omega is equal to v by r in this. So I will eliminate omega and I'll write it as half m v square plus half I v square divided by r square. But when we are dealing with rotational motion, like it can be any shape object, moment of inertia of any object can be written in terms of mk square. I'll just substitute mk square here. K will be equal to half mv square plus half mk square into v square divided by r square. I'll just write half mv square outside. It is 1 plus half mv square I have written out. It is k square divided by r square. This is equation for kinetic energy of the rolling body, where m is equal to mass of the object, m is mass of rolling body, and k is equal to radius of gyration. K is radius of gyration and r is equal to radius of rolling object. This is equation for kinetic energy of the rolling body. You need to remember this equation. K is equal to half mv square into 1 plus k square divided by r square. Students, in the last article we have learned kinetic energy of the rolling body when it is moving on the horizontal path. So on straight line path, if the body is in rolling motion, the kinetic energy is the sum of translational kinetic energy and as well as rotational kinetic energy. Now we are taking the same rolling object on an inclined plane. If it is on the inclined plane, there will be a gravitational force which is acting in downward direction. As a result, I can take gravitational force of this object which is acting downward. It is mg, and this mg can be resolved into two components. One component along the axis of the inclined plane and the other one perpendicular to this. This become mg cos theta and this become mg sin theta, and this is mg. Okay, and there will be a normal reaction acting on this object, and normal reaction will be in this direction. This is normal reaction n. Now when this rolling body, like if you are just placing a rolling body on an inclined plane, due to component of the gravitational force acting on that rolling body, it tend to roll, it falls down. Because of this gravitational force component, mg sin theta pulls it in downward direction. As mg sin theta pulls it in downward direction, here we are considering body is in pure rolling motion. If it is pure rolling, at this point of contact, there will be one velocity which is right side and there will be one velocity which is left side. You can write this as vc and you can write this as vr. In pure rolling, At the point of contact, VR magnitude is equal to VC magnitude. Therefore, there will be no frictional force. There will be no friction, no rolling friction, because we are considering it as pure rolling. So as there is no frictional force acting upon this, there is no rolling friction. It is only force mj sin theta which pulls this object in downward direction. Now I can use work energy theorem which we have learned in work and energy. From work energy theorem, you can write work done is equal to change in kinetic energy of the rolling body. So initially at the starting point, its translational velocity is 0 because it starts from rest. When it is rolling down at the bottommost point, it will have both kinetic energy due to rotation and as well as kinetic energy due to translation. So work done will be equal to change in kinetic energy. So I will be writing it as work done is equal to final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy, right? And work done is equal to, this is equation number 1. We know work done is equal to force into displacement, and force is gravitational force which is pulling this body in downward direction. I will be writing it as mg, and height through which it is falling down, this height I am writing it as h. Therefore displacement of this rolling body I can take it as h, since f is equal to mg and displacement s is equal to height h. Let me take this as equation number 2. Now take this equation 2 and substitute in equation 1. Initial kinetic energy is equal to 0. Final kinetic energy is half m v square plus half m k square into omega square can be written as v square divided by r square. This we have already derived in the past case. So I'll use these equations in equation 1 using 3 and 2. In equation 1, we can write mgh is equal to half mv square into 1 plus k square divided by r square. And from here, m and m gets cancelled. It is 2gh divided by 1 plus k square by r square is equal to v square, and this can be simply written as v is equal to under root 2gh divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square. This is equation for maximum velocity on reaching the ground. So finally, when the rolling body comes here, this velocity v with it comes here is under root 2gh divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square. Now one more equation you can write here. See, this is length of the inclined plane starting from this position to this position. You can write it as L. If L is length of the inclined plane, you can write from this h is equal to L sine theta. H is equal to L sine theta, and this length x can be written as L cos theta. That is from triangle. So you can just use h is equal to L sine theta in this equation. This can be written as mgl into sine theta divided by 1 plus k square by r square under root. This is the final expression for velocity of a rolling body on an inclined plane. Yeah. Students, in the last article, we have learned what is the velocity of rolling body when it reaches the ground from the inclined plane. Now let us find out acceleration of rolling body when it is reaching the ground. What is the magnitude of acceleration? Let us calculate it. We know acceleration a is equal to r alpha, where A is linear acceleration and alpha is translational acceleration. Now, when the body is in rolling motion, clearly there will be translational and as well as rotational equilibrium, but here body is not in rest position. So I can write from translational motion. From translational motion, you can just write it as downward force is mg sine theta minus frictional force F is equal to mass into acceleration A. And here we are not considering this as pure rolling. It is impure rolling. Magnitude of VR and VC is not equal. So this is impure rolling, right? Now there will be a frictional force acting at the point of contact if it is impure rolling. This is impure rolling. There will be a frictional force opposing here F. So in translational motion, downward force is mg sine theta, upward force is frictional force F, which should be equal to mass into acceleration of the body which is falling down. Likewise, from rotational motion, we can write torque tau is equal to, like, tau net is equal to I alpha. What is net torque acting here? Torque is due to frictional force and torque is due to this gravitational force. Of course, if we are considering this is axis of rotation, axis of the rotation is at the center, I can write torque due to friction is equal to I alpha, and torque due to mg sine theta is equal to 0 because it is exactly acting on the axis. And torque due to this frictional force is R into frictional force F, which is equal to I into alpha can be written as A divided by R. Right? Now this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Now solve these two equations. You just add these two equations. So if you add these equations, you can write it as mg sine theta is equal to mg sine theta. Like, one thing I'll do before this, I'll make one small modification. Just write this as F is equal to I into A divided by R square. Bring this R to the other side and I'll take this as equation number 2. I'll take this as equation number 2. Now you can just substitute this F in equation number 1 using 2 in 1. You can write mg sine theta is equal to I A divided by R square, which is equal to, plus ma. Okay, this is I is equal to mk square divided by R square plus m into A. You can take it out, and m also you can take it out. M on both sides gets cancelled. This is mg sine theta. M here gets cancelled. What is left over? Acceleration A will be equal to g sine theta divided by 1 plus k square by R square. This is equation for acceleration of the rolling body when it reaches the ground.